Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Total War Attila, the Eastern Roman Empire, and History. And we are here in the borderlands between the East and West empires in the provinces of Pannonia and Illyricum. And that's fitting, I suppose, because in the next couple of episodes, I'm going to be speaking about Constantine I, or Constantine the Great, a Roman emperor who was born in a nearby region of Moesia Superior, or modern-day Serbia, so it kind of ties everything together. But first, I'm going to move my emperor around. He still has the consumption on his troops. Our western brothers are beset by 2 full-stack units of rebels and 2 full-stack units of Quadians, so we are going to assist them in any way that we can. So Constantine is a very well-known figure in Roman history. He is the first Roman emperor to accept Christianity. He's actually been sainted. Though, as you get into more detail in his life, you find that while he may have been sainted, he certainly was not a saint. And in scholarship, there's a lot of controversy about Constantine, not only as to how serious a Christian he was, but also, was he a good man or a not good man? And while many people will agree that he was a great man, that doesn't necessarily mean that he was honorable. It just means that he accomplished world-changing things. So the Parthian Legion has attrition. The Claudian Legion has attrition. Amida has attrition and disease. Okay, a silk trader. A foreign trader has arrived with reams of silk. It is said that he knows of a secret trade route along which many valuable commodities pass. His wares are flooding the market, lowering prices and income. Let's deal with that. We can ignore him, we can imprison him, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him wagon trains, and hopefully he can improve the economy of our empire. Let's hope that one works out. Emperor, let's move you closer to defend against these rebels. It's a shame he can't walk further. I can force march, and I've been asked in the comments why I don't do that more, and the reason why is I'm just afraid that I'll get caught flat-footed. If you force march, you have defensive malices, and so, you know, you might lose a battle you otherwise would win if you were just marching regularly. Let's see here. Okay, I want you to move to Ephesus. Actually, let's hop out and back in. Okay, you are going to stay right here because we have, not the Huns, I'm not worried about them, but now we have the Alans with a full stack right in the middle of the Aegean Sea. They could land anywhere, raid, raise a province. It's actually really scary because for the most part the Mediterranean belongs to the Romans. So having a boat in there just that can go anywhere makes me a little nervous. But right now the place that I want to defend the most is Constantinople, and that's what we're going to do. Constantinople, of course, named after Constantine. That's how the city got its name. Because he didn't found it. I mean, they say he founded it, and that's fine. But it actually existed before. It was the city of Byzantium. He simply took it and improved it and made it the new capital of the Roman Empire, the Nova Roma. Okay, we're just going to move you around. And you guys are at sea for some reason, which was kind of a mistake on my part, I guess. I don't think it hurt them at all, but still, it wasn't very smart. Okay, so I have some money, and I need to spend it. So the first thing I wanted to do is I was told in the comments that I'm not exploiting my resources, and I agree. Like, for example, Attila here has gems. So we're going to build a gem deposit. Sanitation here is pretty bad. So we're also going to build my ubiquitous waterworks. Now, Egypt has gold, but we don't have enough population in this place to create the gold building yet, so we're going to have to wait on that. And that's why we purchased the latrines, to improve growth there. So another thing I wanted to do is Cappadocia has poor public order because of religion. If you'll look here, you'll see that Greek Christianity is on the wane, and Greco-Roman paganism and Manichaeism are on the rise. I lowered taxes due to that. But it's not really working, so I'm going to build a Greek baptistry here to help with religion. And I'm not really sure about this, because I know if you build a sanitation building in one of the two towns, it will affect the whole province, but I'm not sure if the bonuses to public order that you get from church buildings translate to the entire province. I would assume that they do. Okay, so that's being built. That'll help us a lot. Syria is importing food. I guess that's fine. It lowers public order, but not every place can be building a ton of food. I could update the workshops to get more industry money, which will coincide well with our dye maker. Or I could do what I intended to do originally and have this gentleman here in Ephesus recruit some cavalry. Right now, all I can build are the scout equites, and I can do 4 of them at a time. And I think that's good for now in terms of spending money. Okay, this guy, the governor of Thrace, apparently has gained some... How hard is it to get to these guys? There he is. Alright, we're going to give him some public order bonus and some corruption bonus to help improve both how happy people are and how much money I'm making. And with that, we will end the turn. So Constantine I was born in 272, and he died at age 65 in 337. So he saw both the end of the 3rd century and the beginning of the 4th century. His full name as emperor was Flavius Valerius Aurelius Constantinus Augustus. He was actually the son of a man named Constantinus, who, if you paid attention during my Diocletian episodes, you will know that Diocletian created what was called the Tetrarchy, which is 4 rulers of Rome, 2 senior Augusti, 1 in the west and 1 in the east, and 2 Caesars, junior emperors, also in the west and the east. Constantius was the junior emperor for the west, and he was based up here, so he ruled Britannia and Gaul, and for a little bit, Iberia as well. Yes, I will enter war on the side of my ally against the Picts. The thing about the Tetrarchy was that it was based on appointment. It wasn't dynastic. Okay, we're being attacked here by rebels. Let's take them on. And that's important because Constantine was the son of Constantius, but when Diocletian and the Western Emperor Maxentius, Maximian, Maxentius was his son, retired as emperors, Constantine moved forward, or Constantius, his father, moved forward as the Augusti for the West, and a man named Galerius moved up as the Augusti from the East, but Constantine didn't get anything as the son of Constantius. There was a whole new Caesar named Severus, and so Constantine was kind of left out. And this is important because it kind of dictates what he did in the future. Okay. The weather's good for once. That's nice. We should array our troops in the best defensive position. I think here is pretty good, actually. Okay. Put you in the middle. You here. Come on. Oh, whatever, that's fine. These 2 can go here. These 2 can go here. And then our emperor will stand in the back. Alright. So let's set that formation. And, well, moving back would actually make us go down, so I don't think that's a good idea. Let's just put everyone here. Okay. So Constantine spent his youth in the east under Diocletian. And some people say he was a hostage, and in a sense he was, because he was there basically to ensure that his father followed the rules of Diocletian's Tetrarchy. But at the same time, it's not like a modern-day hostage situation where he was bound in a dark room with a bag over his head. He led armies for Diocletian. He went all over the empire. He was able to meet with some of the greatest thinkers of the time. He was a very respected and honored figure at court. So you can't really think of it as him being a hostage in the sense that we know it today. However, when Diocletian died, or not died, I'm sorry, but when he retired and Galerius took over, Galerius was not the same man as Diocletian, and he was more paranoid, and he definitely was worried about the Western Augustus Constantius. So Constantine had to fear for his life. He knew that there was a chance that he might one day get poisoned or stabbed in the back. So what happened was in 305, that's when all this happened, when the two Augusti retired and Galerius and Constantius took over. Constantius requested that his son be allowed to come with him to Britain to campaign. And there's some stories around this. In all the stories, they agree that Galerius approved this. Some say it was after a night of heavy drinking, and what Constantine himself said was he was so scared that Galerius was going to change his mind that he took off at night riding multiple horses because he kept breaking them because he was going so fast in the middle of the night, and he would stop at the post offices, the Roman post inns, basically, and changing horses. But he did eventually make it to his father in Britannia. Alright, so allies, what are you up to? I don't care about them. Let's just be honest. They're not going to follow my request, and they're going to charge right into battle, and that's fine. So Constantine then, in 305, was in Britain with his father, and he was campaigning against the Picts, who are the tribes that were in what is now Scotland. They were north of Hadrian's Wall. However, his father was known as Constantius the Pale, and the reason for his paleness was because he was sick, and so he eventually died in 306. And then we have a problem, because when an Augustus dies, the Caesar for that region needs to take over. However, the troops of Constantine's father did not want that. They don't know who this Severus guy was. They didn't want to be taken over by him. They loved Constantius, and so they elevated his son as Augustus of the West. Obviously, this was a problem, and Galerius was not happy about this, but there wasn't much he could do about it because he didn't want to risk a civil war. So what he told Constantine was, look, okay, I will recognize you as Caesar of the West, but Severus is still the Augustus, and our allies are pretty much going to die, and there's nothing we can do about that. So that was fine with Constantine, because theoretically he did usurp power, and this gave him a shred of legitimacy. So he said, okay, fine, I will accept being Caesar. And so this maintained for a while, but then Severus was eventually usurped himself and captured by Maxentius, who was the son of Maximian, the Western Augustus who retired alongside Diocletian.
The enemy are ambushing us.
Okay, now we're in the fight, so I'm going to focus on that. We have Exploradores. These guys are heavy infantry, and these guys Ballistari. I'm not worried about you at all. These guys are weak. I know this because they're weak for me too. These guys are tough. We should be able to take them. In fact, we could start utilizing our cavalry because they are not in any way threatening to us at this point. Okay, they're attacking our right flank. Let's move up the Legio to engage.
The enemy refuses to admit defeat. Their unit has rallied.
And let's send this Legio up to aid them as well.
The enemy has put our ally to the sword.
Okay. Actually, you know what? You guys are going to hit these guys in the back. Meanwhile, you guys are going to come up here and help against here.
Our general is being attacked. Keep him
Boom.
alive.
Nice. And if there's one thing I've learned is that you keep your cavalry there. You do not pull them out because they'll just die. Although now I could probably pull them out. And let's do the same thing to these guys. Alright, these guys are running. Actually, cavalry's having a hard time against these guys. What are these? These are crossbowmen? Wow, that's pretty good of them. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, these guys kind of rebuilt themselves. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so we've chased off these guys as well. So now we're ready for Wave 2. So Constantine was kind of an arrogant guy. Like when his troops acclaimed him, he sent a letter to the Emperor Galerius saying, "Hey man, there's nothing I can do. My troops are the ones that acclaimed me." But at the same time, he had a portrait made of himself in the purple, which he also sent to be put up in Rome. And he knew he kind of was in a position where there wasn't much the other power brokers of Rome could do to stop him at that precise time. What followed at this point is 5 to 6 years of civil wars where at one point there was no fewer than 6 Augusti, or senior emperors. I'm not really going to go into that because it would take 10 episodes just to discuss all that. But there is one specific event and battle that I want to talk about, and that was known as the Battle of the Milvian Bridge. And it's very famous because it's where Constantine finally comes out, I guess, as a Christian, although not really. But let me explain it. The civil wars are nearing their end, and there are 2 forces right now in the West fighting. There's Constantine, and there is this guy, Maxentius, who, again, is the son of Maximian, the Western Augusti, the first Western Augusti who retired alongside of Diocletian. And now, Maximian came back. He didn't stay retired, but stuff happened. I'm not really going to go into that. So, Maxentius was in charge of Italy, and he was based in Rome. And he had about twice the forces that Constantine had, but Constantine's forces were experienced. They had been fighting not only the barbarians in the Rhine frontier, but also they had been sacking cities in northern Italy, and they were very well morale, well motivated. Whereas Maxentius, I'm sorry, these names are so similar, you get them all mixed up. Maxentius was hated by the people of Italy because he taxed them very highly, and so his troops, while again twice the size of Constantine's troops, did not have the morale that Constantine's troops had. However, Maxentius marched out of Rome, and he had all the bridges across the Tiber River cut, and he marched out of Rome and stood at the kind of, I would say, restored Milvian Bridge, but it wasn't really restored. He just kind of built a temporary bridge over it. I think maybe out of boats, I'm not entirely sure. And he lined up his troops. And so Constantine was, the day before the battle, he was thinking, okay, how am I going to win this? What's my strategy here? And apparently, the story goes, he looked up at the sun. Now, at this point, he had been worshiping a god called Sol Invictus, or the unconquered sun. So he looked up at the sun, which was kind of his symbol, and on top of the sun, or in front of it, he saw these words. And they were words in, I don't know if they were in Latin or Greek, but they translated to, "Under this banner, you will conquer." And he had no idea what that meant. So he went to bed that night and he had a dream. And in this dream, I think he spoke to Jesus, and he had the vision of the signal of Christianity, or the Chi-Rho, which you see on these shields. The two first Greek letters of the name of Christ. And so the next day, he had those images put on the shields of his men. And what resulted was a pretty famous battle, and Maxentius was crushed, absolutely crushed. His army just didn't have very good morale. They fled the battle almost immediately. They really lost before they even began. And, oh wow, they have 2 catapults. And so most of his troops just drowned in retreat, trying to cross the bridge back into the city, including Maxentius. So Constantine won a crushing victory, despite, again, less numbers. And he actually fished the body of Maxentius out of the Tiber, and he went and paraded his head through the city as he entered it. And again, the people didn't really care too much because they hated that guy. So at that point, Constantine was the sole ruler of the Western Roman Empire. There was nobody who can contest with him. And in the next episode, we will finish up talking about Constantine and what he did after that. Okay, get out of there, guys. Not sure why you guys are all the way out there, but that's fine. What men would that be? Oh, must be our cavalry. Okay, fine. That's acceptable. Wow, these guys, pretty good morale here. Why are you guys just standing there? Oh, well. Oh, they're my guys. For some reason I thought they were the enemy troops. Alright, they're completely crushed. No. There we go. Much better. Alright. So Equites. Go over here. Let's engage those crossbowmen. There's their general and some spearmen. Let's move everyone up. Oh good, they're going to engage us. Make it easy for us. There we go. Alright. Let's take him out. General? Do you have any good skills? Not really. Reconnaissance? Meh. There we go. These are going to get really entertaining once we get better cavalry. Right now, the scout equites aren't exactly that amazing, but... Okay. But we are crushing them over here. I can't even tell which ones are the rebels and which ones are my own troops. But we are victorious. Let's see, just some cleanup. These guys, yeah, they still have 60 troops. They'll come back if we don't finish them off. These guys will probably finish off all on their own. So here's some more eye candy that I know Liquidor appreciates. No, that guy's cool. Is he the general? No. Oh, he just took a guy out. Let's see, they're down to 25. Well, let's get it down to like... Let's see, let's do an experiment. Okay, under 20. Let's see if the unit gets destroyed. We lost 93 men. Our allies lost a little bit more than half of their men, but we took out almost 1,200 rebels. A brilliant strategic victory. And, okay, so their archers did get destroyed, but their scout equites did not. They still have 1 unit of those. Oh, another group of rebels. They're actually attacking our ally, not us. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? I will fight this battle off camera, and then I will come back next episode and we'll finish up our talk about Constantine. Now that he is the sole ruler of the West, let's talk about what he did next. So, once again, I am Marcus Aurelius. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.